Welcome to IVPA. In this episode, we address the 5 most frequently asked questions about avian influenza and racing pigeons. Why can we race in the 10-kilometer zone around an avian influenza outbreak, although all our pigeons are vaccinated?
The mandatory vaccination against paramyxo has nothing to do with the avian influenza. Both diseases are caused by different viruses. Paramyxovirus will cause in pigeons nervous symptoms, such as turning their heads, not able to pick up their food like it should be, or they can't fly straight forward anymore. The virus can also attack the kidneys. Then the pigeons will drink a lot, they will have an overfilled crop with water, and they will have watery droppings. Because it is mandatory since years, we don't see that disease anymore in vaccinated pigeons. The law stipulates very clear that it's necessary to vaccinate all the pigeons who will participate to a race, but that those pigeons come from a loft where all the pigeons are vaccinated. So not only the racers, but also the breeders, the foster parents, the latebreds, and the partners who stays at home. In other words, you have to vaccinate all your pigeons on your list. Vaccination against bird flu has only recently been included in the European legislation for poultry, but the national authorities have yet to write all this out and include it in the national legislation, and this will most likely not be immediately for pigeons.
Now it takes always 30 days before the races can start again. Before, sometimes only 1 or 2 weekends. Why the difference?
The new animal health law has been in effect since the end of 2021. This law stipulates very clear that if there is an outbreak of a notifiable disease, such as bird flu or Newcastle disease in poultry, there have to be a demarcation of a 3 and a 10-kilometer zone. In this zone, it is not allowed to have movements or transport from poultry and also other captive birds. In this last category, also the pigeons are involved. In the legislation before, there was a possibility of a derogation specifically for the pigeons in case of a positive risk analysis. So competitions and trainings could also take place. In the new European legislation, this is not the case. Only if the national authorities are considering the pigeons as having a high genetic and cultural value, then it would be possible to have derogations after a risk assessment.
Are racing pigeons vulnerable for the avian flu virus?
The pigeon is naturally not sensitive to the bird flu virus. Only in experimental infection with very high doses, the pigeons could become ill. But what is really important, there was no excretion of the virus that could contaminate poultry or other waterfowl that is very sensitive. That is why they say the pigeon is a dead-end host. They don't have a role in the spreading of the avian influenza virus to sensitive birds.
Are people doing something about the avian flu virus?
The Avian Influenza Task Force was established in 2022. Those are all people who are working voluntarily and are connected to the FCE, EVPA and RPP. We negotiate and we have meetings with the Agri-Commission from Europe, DG Santé, EFSA, the World Organization of Animal Health. On national level, we work together with the national federations to negotiate with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Federal Food Agency.
Can we, as pigeon fancier, do something in order to help solving this problem?
Yes, you can do something. First of all, vaccinate all your pigeons against paramyxovirus, although this has nothing to see with the avian flu. 2. Provide enough separation and sufficient distance between your pigeons and the poultry you have. And 3. Most important, don't send angry emails to the Ministry of Agriculture or the Agency for Food Safety. They just do their job and follow the law. and it only makes the negotiations more difficult.